What is up, people of all different types of ages, races, genders, and yes, even you other species out there watching this video. My name is Omega Pro, and in this video we're going to be talking about whether or not Dragon Ball Xenoverse will be the last Dragon Ball Z game that we get. Now, by this I don't mean that Xenoverse will be the last DBZ game ever, because that would be just asinine, but I mean, will Dragon Ball Xenoverse be that line of DBZ games that we need, so that way we don't really need any more of the resets. Like, we don't need the Raging Blast or the Tenkaichis anymore. And that's what I wanted to talk about, was Tenkaichi 4 and like Raging Blast 3, and if those would be, you know, a possibility in the future. So why don't we just all get together and talk about it right now? Will Xenoverse be sort of that end-all be-all Dragon Ball game that maybe every few years or so they make you know, Xenoverse 2 or Xenoverse 3, or will they go back to the yearly tradition of releasing Dragon Ball Z games every year, and then maybe having every one or two of them be actual good games, and then the other ones being absolutely dog shit? Well, let's talk about it. So, this really all depends on what Namco Bandai wants at the end of the day. What does Namco Bandai want for the Dragon Ball Z franchise? That's what it all comes down to. So what I think should happen, personally, is I think that Xenoverse should be the last Dragon Ball Z game, and that we get, you know, regular content updates, and then, you know, Xenoverse 2 will come out with, you know, a newer fighting engine, newer tweaks, and all that good shit, and newer characters, and whatever. And that's how I think it should go. That's how I personally think it should happen. Now, if they didn't decide to do that, and they decided to bring back, say, Raging Blast 3 or Budokai Tenkaichi 4, would I necessarily be opposed to that? Not really, although I really do believe that we should be looking towards the future here and not necessarily getting stuck in the past. And that's what a lot of people tend to cling on to. They tend to cling on to the past a lot. You know, they look back at Budokai Tenkaichi and they're like, wow, these games are so awesome. Or even Raging Blast, and those games are pretty good. Budokai Tenkaichi being a little bit better in terms of, you know, combat depth and, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, I would definitely prefer to see that. But I do believe that Xenoverse offers more than both of these titles. That's why I want to see Xenoverse be sort of that last Dragon Ball Z series that we get, because I feel like it does offer more than both of those games, sort of combined, really, because it's very, very in-depth. All the shit that you can do with the combos and the customizable supers, and not to mention the character creation and all that stuff. Now, is that to say that they couldn't add those things into Raging Blast or Budokai Tenkaichi? Sure they can, but it wouldn't be Budokai Tenkaichi or Raging Blast at that point. It would be a new Dragon Ball Z game, and that's exactly what Xenoverse is, and that's exactly what Xenoverse needs to be. Xenoverse needs to be the last Dragon Ball Z game that we get. And again, that's sort of weird to say because I don't think it's going to be the last Dragon Ball Z game, but I believe that it should be like the main Dragon Ball Z game that we get, you know? Like, they can release Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and everything, and then maybe release side projects here and there, maybe for handheld devices, or even if they want to do it on the main console, some side games or whatever. But as long as Xenoverse remains that bread and butter, as long as Xenoverse remains that one game that we can keep going back to every few years or so when they update it or whatever, then I think that's going to be really good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, my name is Omega Pro. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a like rating. That helps me out more than you guys can ever imagine. And don't forget to leave your comments down in the comment section down below. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.